There's a place where mountains fall into rivers, where whales rise from ancient waters, and villages spill charm from every corner. This isn't a detour, it's a destination.
Hi, I'm Mike, and this is Mike's Road Trip.
Get off the road!
All right.
On this episode, I road trip from Quebec City to Charlevoix. So come along with me. Let me show you around. My journey began in one of North America's most beautiful and historic cities, Quebec City. With cobblestone streets, centuries-old architecture, and a proud French-Canadian spirit, it's a city with an unmistakable European flair. With one last look at the views from the Quebec Hilton, where the old city meets the river, it was time to hit the road en route to Charlevoix. Heading northeast along the St. Lawrence River, the landscape quickly transitions from cityscape to storybook countryside. Rolling hills, river views, and winding roads made the drive to Charlevoix feel like part of the story, not just the journey. Our first stop was to Baie-Saint-Paul, a town known for its thriving art scene and creative energy. Despite the rain, the charm of Saint Jean-Baptiste Street shone through. The light rain made for the perfect opportunity to duck into some art galleries to peruse the local talent. We stopped for lunch at Le Saint-Pub, a cozy microbrewery where I tried a flight of local beers paired with a fresh salmon dish. Then we were off to the Hydromel Charlevoix for a tasting of meads, which are wines and spirits made from honey and local herbs. Perched above the St. Lawrence River, Club Med Quebec Charlevoix was our first home for the night. The setting alone is breathtaking, but step inside and you're met with a refined alpine ambiance that blends warmth with modern sophistication. The rooms are beautifully designed, and around every corner there's something to discover, with curated spaces that invite both relaxation and connection. They also have some amazing entertainment throughout the day. Right next door to Club Med is La Massif de Charlevoix, a mountain known for having the highest vertical drop east of the Rockies, with trails and sweeping views in every direction. The gondola ride to the summit was wonderful, floating above forests as the St. Lawrence River opened wide beneath us. At the top, the landscape stretched for miles. We spent time watching mountain bikers tear down the trails. Then we grabbed lunch and relaxed mountaintop where you can eat with a view. Wow, some pretty amazing views behind me here in Charlevoix. Next to the Club Med, we are up at a ski resort. That afternoon, we headed back to Baie-Saint-Paul, this time to a stunningly beautiful day. Our home for the night was Le Germain. This is a boutique hotel that blends minimalistic design surrounded by fertile farmland and pastoral calmness. The property is nestled between the Charlevoix Mountains and the shores of the St. Lawrence River. This area was so superb, my only disappointment was the limited time to explore. I have to say, I was quite enamored by Le Germain. The contemporary style, the modest yet refined rooms, and the unique buildings and lush grounds made it feel more like a sanctuary than just a place to stay. After getting settled in, the first thing I did was take advantage of their Nordique spa, a quiet, soul-soothing circuit of hot and cold outdoor pools, a Finnish sauna with a view, a swimming pool, and a tranquil relaxation space that invites you to simply breathe. After unwinding at the spa, I rented a bike and set off to explore the area of Baie-Saint-Paul. Just next door to the hotel, I stumbled upon a lovely little public botanical garden, quiet and full of character. Meandering paths wove through the lush foliage. A small creek bubbled past benches and public art, creating the perfect place to pause and breathe it all in.
Absolutely beautiful day. Perfect for a bike ride.
From there, I pedaled through town, which was alive with energy, shops bustling, cafe patios full, and that small town magic you can't quite describe. A dirt path beyond the village led me through open farmland toward the shores of the St. Lawrence, where I found a quiet pier stretching into the river, framed by fields and big sky.
Some wonderful biking out here.
Later that afternoon, I returned to Le Germain and met up with my fellow travel bloggers for dinner at Le Briquet, a cozy, inviting space where the atmosphere is relaxed but refined, and the food reflects that same spirit, locally sourced, garden-inspired, and deeply comforting. The next morning started out a bit slowly, with the comforting hum of an espresso machine and the scent of espresso filling the room. I stepped out onto the balcony, coffee in hand, and took in the view with a light drizzle that moved across the valley. The skies had turned moody and overcast, but it only added to the atmosphere. If anything, it made what lay ahead feel even more like an adventure. We arrived at Hautes-Gorges National Park, a landscape sculpted by ancient glaciers and the relentless force of water carving through the stone over millennia.
I don't know if you can hear me because the rushing water is quite loud, but man, this boardwalk along the river is just stunning.
For those up for a challenge, a steep set of stairs leads to higher vantage points, and the views are absolutely worth the climb.
Oh, this is steep steps. Woo!
From up here, you get a real sense of the scale and drama of this glacially carved landscape. Later, we boarded a small riverboat and cruised up the Malbaie River, gliding between sheer rock faces with trees clinging to the cliffs above. As we drifted along, we passed kayakers and paddleboarders, enjoying the stillness of the river in their own quiet way. It's the kind of place that slows you down, draws you in, and makes you feel small in the best possible way. If you're visiting Charlevoix, make time for this park. It's nature at full volume, raw, immersive, and unforgettable. After disembarking, we drove to our next destination. We made our way to one of Charlevoix's most iconic landmarks, the Fairmont Les Manoirs. Perched on a cliffside overlooking the St. Lawrence River, the hotel is a blend of old-world grandeur and refined elegance, with sprawling grounds and a panoramic view that feels like something out of a painting. We took some time to settle in, freshen up, and explore the property, admiring the architecture, the riverfront setting, and the sheer sense of place that surrounds you here. That evening, just down the road, we had dinner at Auberge La Marmite, a cozy and colorful bistro tucked into a historic home with a warm and welcoming vibe, especially as the light softened over the river. And the food, even better. Local flavors, thoughtful presentation, and a menu that feels both creative and comforting. The next morning started early, but with that unmistakable energy that only comes when something unforgettable lies ahead. We drove to Baie-Sainte-Catherine for a zodiac whale watching tour with the folks from Croisières AML. The bay was calm, the light was perfect, and the anticipation was thick in the air. After picking up another group across the bay, we headed out to deeper waters. And not long after, the show began. We spotted several whales surfacing, their massive forms breaking through the stillness. At one point, we passed a large raft of sea otters, as if to say hello. Toward the end of our journey, we kissed the cliffs of a fjord so the captain could show us a towering waterfall cascading right above us and straight into the sea. It almost felt like we were in the middle of a nature documentary. But nature wasn't done. As we began to head back, the skies darkened. Wind picked up. Then came the downpour. It was wild, wet, and somehow perfect. Thankfully, we had our rain gear and a sense of humor to match. Back at the Fairmont, the weather had cleared and the adventure continued. This time from above. We ziplined off the hotel's rooftop, a thrilling ride that drops you straight toward the river below. The property offers no shortage of ways to stay active or unwind. There's an extensive pool area, sauna, championship golf course, or if you prefer, a mini golf experience, and countless walking paths that invite you to slow down and take it all in. That evening, we gathered one last time for dinner and a shared dessert. As the light turned to dusk, we went outside and gathered around a bonfire, listening to live music that drifted through the air. It was one of those moments that memories are forged. As the road curves back to Quebec City, I found myself already missing Charlevoix. The landscapes, the flavors, the quiet moments that stay with you long after the trip ends. If you're thinking about doing a similar road trip around Charlevoix, drop a line in the comments. I'm happy to help. Well, that's it from this road trip to Charlevoix, Quebec. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more road trip travel videos. So until next time, we'll see you on the road. MaxRoadTrip.com